This is your AP Government video on liberalism. As we start to look at the various political ideologies, we're going to look first at the two major ones, liberalism and conservatism, and then we'll look at two more. To start off, this video is on liberalism. Here are the basics of liberals. And remember, liberal is an ideology. Most liberals identify in the United States as a Democrat, which is a political party. But many people might identify as liberal and be independent as well. Liberals typically are left-wing. They respond to the blue color and the donkey symbol. Liberals generally identify as Democrats, but it's possible that somebody is a more liberal Republican because this is on a spectrum of people from varying forms of liberal and conservative. Liberals generally believe in positive uses of government. They particularly like federal government programs. Federal government programs implement the same law everywhere, so everybody is treated the same regardless of what state you're in if the program is coordinated by the federal government. Liberals often believe that the government protects individuals, that if your rights are being taken away by another individual or by a corporation, that some type of government program is there to protect you, and they would prefer that the federal government set up those rules and regulations to protect people. Liberals have a very strong social justice platform and equal opportunity platforms. A lot of this started in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Now, there are lots of criticisms. Conservatives would criticize liberals, saying this is great, but it takes a lot of taxes to have large federal government programs. They would also say you need to have faith in government. And if you believe that the government is corrupt or that members of the government are untrustworthy, then you might not want the government to solve a problem for you. Conservatives would also say that just spending more money in a certain way or on a certain thing doesn't necessarily solve that problem. And conservatives often say if people get really used to government handouts in terms of social safety net programs, then they become dependent on them and they can't live without them. And that makes these types of federal programs long lasting, and it's very difficult to get rid of them. There are also other forms of liberals. We're going to talk about neoliberals. Neo means new, and these are more modern liberals. Some, like the Clintons, both Bill and Hillary, identified as neoliberals. They have the same social justice platform as traditional liberals, but they're not necessarily thinking that government or federal government is always the solution. They're far more likely to think of the government as a small role, but to partner with state governments or nonprofits or even corporations to help solve the same problems that liberals had identified as important.